Okay, hold on. Before you jump in the comments and say, genetics, just wait a second. I know genetics play a very important role in hair growth, but most guys who want to grow their hair and fail, they can write it off as genetics way too fast. There could be tons of other reasons their hair isn't growing as fast as they want before they jump to genetics. This video is going to cover all of that low-hanging fruit that could be slowing your hair growth down. And to answer the question, is it possible to speed up hair growth? Well, yes, but also no. So let's dive into it. All right, so first, it's important to understand. Healthy, undamaged, nutrient-proficient hair grows at a rate of about 1/2 inch per month. Now that's considering that all factors are perfect. Your lifestyle is optimized for hair growth. You're getting all the vitamins and nutrients necessary to hit that threshold. So that's the limit that science, unfortunately, hasn't discovered how to break through yet. So all things being perfect, you can't speed it up faster than about 1/2 inch. But the opportunity for you lies in the fact that most men don't do everything necessary to optimize their hair growth and hit that 1/2 inch per month. Oftentimes they're finding it's taking a lot longer than that. Or sometimes they think that it's stuck. Their hair is just not growing. So most guys, believe it or not, are deficient in some of the vital nutrients required to hit that threshold, or they may have made lifestyle choices that can slow down their growth tremendously. Let's jump into what are some of those nutrients you need and what are those lifestyle choices you can improve. And then also there's a few other hacks that I found that can stimulate growth. So let's start with lifestyle changes. Number one, the first one, and this is the most obvious, but it's so important, is to get your 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is essential to stimulate HGH, which is the growth hormone that affects your cell repair, metabolism, body composition. This affects your hair growth rate as well. So that was an obvious one, but I found a report from the CDC that 35% of adults are not getting enough sleep each night. So right there's a big opportunity for 1/3 of you to improve your hair growth and get closer to reaching that threshold. Number two, the second lifestyle choice is stress. Now, many men have confused stress-related hair loss for male pattern baldness, actually. They can sort of look similar, but they actually have two completely different solutions. To explain, it's important to look at how hair actually grows. It grows in a cycle. Cycle number one is called anagen. This is the active growth phase of hair, and it can last anywhere between 2 and 6 years, depending on your genetics. Cycle 2 is called catagen. This is the transition phase where hair stops growing, and it can last about 2 to 3 weeks. The final cycle is called telogen. This is the resting stage where hair falls out, and it can last anywhere from 2 to 3 months. All the hair on your body follows this cycle, but your beard and your body hair go through it much, much faster, which is why your body hair never grows as long as your head hair. So significant amount of stress actually disrupts this hair growth cycle, and it pushes your hair follicles into the resting phase, telogen, much faster. And this is called telogen effluvium, is the actual name for it. So another lifestyle change that could damage hair growth is being too rough with your hair and scrubbing too hard in the shower, using too hot of water, using too much heat from the blow dryer without using a heat protectant, drying your hair with a towel too roughly. Your hair is really delicate. As men, I know there's things in life that require a rough masculine touch. But cleaning and styling and drying your hair is not one of them. This is one of the most common ways that I see guys damage their hair. So be sure to keep this one in mind as you're taking a shower and scrubbing and drying and blow drying and all these things. Being too rough can slow hair growth from breakage. So the final lifestyle change is if you're a cigarette smoker, try and stop if you can, but a study was done in the Journal of American Medicine Association, and it directly links smoking to androgenetic alopecia. So the study says, and I quote, that cigarette smoking and smoking intensity were statistically significant factors responsible for AGA, which is androgenetic alopecia, after controlling for age and family history. If you want to grow your hair out, it's best to think about quitting the tobacco, trying a nicotine alternative, something like that. I know habits are tough to kick, but that's an important one. All right, so after lifestyle changes, the other factor to look at is diet and nutrition. So there are 7 evidence-based nutrients in total that actually help with hair growth. There's 5 main vitamins and there's 2 micronutrients. So the 5 vitamins that you want to be proficient in are vitamin A, B vitamins, which there's several of them, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and then there's 2 other nutrients that play a key role, and those are zinc and iron. Now, I'm not gonna go into the science of why each vitamin is essential for hair growth. That is probably a whole video on its own that I can make in the future, so let me know in the comments if that interests you. But these 5 vitamins and 2 micronutrients are scientifically proven to affect your hair. And it's really important to note that supplementing them will only be beneficial to hair growth if you're deficient in any of them. If you're not deficient, there's no evidence that shows that taking more in the form of a supplement will have any additional positive effect on hair growth or speed. And in fact, there have been studies that shown if you overdose in like vitamin A or in zinc, it can actually have a backfiring effect and it can lead to hair loss. So the devil's definitely in the dosage. So before you go and buy a bunch of these supplements thinking it's gonna speed up hair growth, try just incorporating them into your diet first. So let's get into vitamin A. For vitamin A, you want foods high in beta carotene. This is the precursor which turns into vitamin A. So foods like sweet potatoes, carrots, spinach, kale. These are all great options. Let's look at B vitamins next. So B vitamins are key for creating red blood cells that help drive nutrients to your hair follicles. There are studies that have linked hair loss specifically to biotin, a deficiency in biotin. That is one of the B vitamins. But again, if you're not deficient, there's not a whole lot of evidence to support that supplementing more will speed up or improve it even better. But making sure that you aren't deficient is key. A lot of people are unknowingly deficient in these vitamins because there's not a whole lot of side effects of a lot of them, especially if you're slightly deficient. So make sure you're getting plenty of biotin in your diet. And this is for all my vegans and vegetarians out there, that you actually have a greater risk of being deficient in vitamin B12 because B12 really can only be found in animal protein. So if you're vegan or vegetarian, talk to your doctor about supplementing B12. All of the other B vitamins are found in a ton of common foods that we eat. Whole grains, almonds, fish, meats, dark greens. Most likely you're not gonna be too deficient in B vitamins, but you could be. It's worth testing. Vitamin C, let's move on to that one. So this helps reduce hair loss from things like oxidative stress, and it helps the body produce collagen, which is a part of your hair. And you can get vitamin C from most citrus fruits. Jump into vitamin D. This one might be one of the only ones you may want to supplement because there have been studies that found that most people are actually deficient in vitamin D. And your body produces it through contact with the sun or through some foods like fatty fish and mushrooms. So low levels of vitamin D have been linked to hair loss. Now moving on to vitamin E. This one is similar to vitamin C in that it helps kill those free radicals that cause hair to age from oxidative stress. In fact, one study showed that people with hair loss experienced a 34.5% increase in hair growth after supplementing vitamin E for 8 months. So you can find these in foods like almonds, spinach, and avocados. They're great sources for vitamin E. Okay, jumping on to the next one, which is iron. So if you remember how B vitamins create red blood cells, so iron helps these red blood cells carry the oxygen to your cells. Things like anemia have been linked to hair loss, which is a deficiency in iron. So you can find iron in tons of things like eggs, red meat, spinach. These all have iron in them. And moving on finally to zinc. Zinc deficiency has been linked to hair loss as well. And zinc helps keep the oil glands around your follicles working properly. This is vital to the natural oil production, which protects your hair. So it's best to get zinc from your diet because there have been some studies linking overdosing of zinc to hair loss as well. So foods high in zinc are foods like beef and spinach. Finally, I also wanted to share a hack I found, and yes, this is also evidence-based, that there was another study I found showing that men who get a 4-minute scalp massage every day for 24 weeks were able to increase their hair thickness. But it's important to note the massages were from a massage device and not from fingers, because using fingers could actually cause more breakage. Before I take off, I do want to throw in, like always, some mistakes to avoid. So the first one is avoid hair products that can cause damage. So there's products that contain harsh chemicals or coloring dyes or sulfates. Look for a sulfate-free shampoo that contains healthy oils, things like coconut oil, which I made a video about coconut oil on why it's one of the best things that you can put in your hair. I'll link to it in the description, you can watch that. Other oils to look for in your shampoo are things like jojoba, aloe vera, keratin, and even castor oil. So the answer to the original question, can you speed up hair growth, is yes, you can, but you can only speed it up to that threshold of about 1/2 an inch per month. After that, it's all in the patience. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.